We are live now, sir.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Shrotriya Brahmanishta Sri Virajeshwara Saraswati and the entire Guru Parampara on behalf of all of us. Today's this discourse on Viveka Chudamani, written by Sri Shankara Bhagavatpada, will continue with Mangalacharana Shlokas. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Harihi Om. Last time, the verse number 156, shloka number 156 of the Viveka Chudamani was covered. So today, the shloka number 157 onwards, the discourse will continue. As said earlier, now the Acharya to his disciple is explaining by taking numerous way of interpretation to show that this gross body, whom we identify as myself or me, is actually not the Atma Padartha. In other words, this body, which in Vedanta called as Annamaya Kosha, this physical body called as Annamaya Kosha, cannot be the Atman. So it is Anatman, opposite to that. So further, now he continues the other shlokas on the same line, negating the concept of physical body being identified as our own Atman. Deha taddharma tatkarma tadavasthadi sakshinaha swatayeva swatam siddha tadvailakshanyamatmanaha. Deha taddharma tatkarma tadavasthadi sakshinaha swata eva swata siddham tadvailakshanyamatmanaha. Acharya explains here that this swataha, swayam siddha, atmanaha, this atma, this paramatma as it is also called, this brahma padartha as it is called, atma, paramatma, brahma, parabrahma, brahma padartha, all are the words in Vedanta used to point out to that supreme, unexplainable Parama Chaitanya, which is nothing but Ekam eva Advitiyam. There is no second. It is the only one ever existing, without change, without birth, without death, without any transmutation or transformation. It is beyond the time, beyond the avasthas, beyond the space, beyond the continuum. So it is kalatita, deshatita, avasthatita. So that Atman, which knows everything, aware of everything, it is aware of the functions of this physical body. It knows deha taddharma tatkarma tada avasthade sakshinaha. It is a pure witness, sakshinaha. Witness of what? This physical body, its dharma, its nature, its tendencies, its karma, its way of actions, and its avastha. That is how it is born, how it enters into the balyavastha, from balyavastha, how it enters into the yavanavastha, kumaravastha, then praudhavastha, middle-aged. From birth, the boyhood, followed by the youthhood, followed by the middle age, and followed by the old age, and finally death. All these are different states of the body, physical body, avasthas. All this is known by the Atman residing inside, indweller residing inside. It is a witness itself. So it is witnessing the changes in the body, the birth of the body, and till the death of the body, how things happen in the body itself. How the body moves, how the body behaves, how it works, what are its karmas, what are its actions, what is its dharma. Dharma here, tad dharma means the nature of the body. The body may be very lean, body may be normal, body may be extremely fat or obese, body may be short, body may be tall, body may be of normal height. See, all these characters are called dharma of that physical body. Deha tad dharma. Everything is being witnessed by the Atma itself. ದೇಹದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಾಕ್ಷೀಭೂತನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ಆ ಆತ್ಮ ಈ ದೇಹ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. That is how Acharya is explaining in different ways to hammer the point that this physical body, whom I consider, whom you consider as me itself, I am this. Who am I? I am this body. I have a name. I am so. I am a man. I am a woman. See, repeatedly these points crop in here. We have identified, no matter whatever may be the discourses, whatever may be the lectures, whatever may be the upadeshas by Mahajnanis, as earlier repeatedly said, we nod our head because of our samskara, because of this extensive tamoguna effect and rajoguna effect and less sattvaguna predominating in the mind. We never agree, we never think beyond this body, in spite of hammering the same point. That is why Acharya is repeatedly is hammering the same point. He knows very well that the highest qualified Uttama Adhikari from the point of Vedanta, the Uttama Adhikari is the highest qualified Mumukshu, will understand within no time. But majority who are entering into the spiritual life, they may not be Uttama Adhikaris in this life. They may be Madhyama Adhikaris or even Manda Adhikaris. At a lower level, still they are struggling. So many more births they have to take, rebirths they have to take to enter into this final mode of qualified discipleship. That is why, considering the entire humanity, Acharya is giving all these informations. Then he continues. शल्यराशिर्मांसलिप्तो मलपूर्णोऽतिकश्मलः कथं भवेदयं वेत्ता स्वयमेतद्विलक्षणः. Again the same point in a different way. शल्यराशिर्मांसलिप्तो मलपूर्णोऽतिकश्मलः. मलपूर्णः अतिकश्मलः. शल्यराशिः मांसलिप्तः. This body, this physical body is shalyarashihi mamsaliptaha malapurnaha kashmalaha. Words are so easy to understand, not very difficult. Acharya says, look, my dear disciple, this physical body, sthula sharira, annamaya kosha, this annamaya kosha means this body is what? Think, rethink, again and again. Come back to the same point. Analyze. Sit quietly for a few seconds. Close your eyes. Think about your own body. What do you see? Close your eyes. Go inside and see your own body. You call this is your Atman. You are that. Look at the body itself. What is that? It is full of shalyarashihi, baggage of bones, mamsaliptaha, full of muscles, tendons, musculature. It also includes nerves and blood vessels also. Mamsaliptaha, malapurnaha. Look at your own belly. Go inside with the X-ray eye. Look at your belly inside. What is that you find? You find complete fecal matter being produced in your own intestine, the filthy urine produced from your own kidneys being stored in your own urinary bladder. See how beautifully Acharya is analyzing, making us to take an inward journey into our own body with a X-ray machine, with a X-ray eye. He is giving out all the details. Is it not a fact? Is it not a scientific fact? So this body is shalyarashihi, mamsaliptaha, malapurnaha, atikashmalaha. It is to be discarded. Your body is full of urine, fecal matter and sweat to be discarded. And the moment the death occurs, your name, status will go away. That is every one of us, our experience. Whether a multi-billionaire, whether a emperor, whether a common man, ordinary man, middle-aged, middle-class person, very poor, the poorest person, he has a name in the life. He is identified by a name. The moment the death occurs, either in the hospital bed or in the home, what happens? The same kits and kins, the family members will stop using the name. They say the body. We have to lift the body. We have to take the body for cremation, or we have to take the body for burial. The name is lost. It is the dead body is called simply body only. Is it not so? So that's what Acharya is hinting here in this clue. Look at that body. Katam bhavedayam vetta swayametad vilakshanaha. Ayam vetta swayam etad vilakshanaha katam bhavet. So this Atma which knows everything, which is aware of everything, how can this physical body can be that Parama Chaitanya Atma? ಮೂಳೆ ರಾಶಿಗಳಿಂದ ಮಾಂಸ ರಕ್ತಗಳಿಂದ ಮಲಮೂತ್ರಗಳಿಂದ ಈ ತುಂಬಿರುವ ಶರೀರ ಆತ್ಮ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ? ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಒಯ್ಯತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಆತ್ಮ ಈ ದೇಹ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಾ? ಇದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ again he continues, ತ್ವಗ್ಮಾಂಸ ಮೇಧೋಸ್ತಿ ಪುರೀಶರಾಶ ಅಹಂ ಮತಿಂ ಮೂಢ ಜನಃ ಕರೋತಿ ವಿಲಕ್ಷಣಂ ವೇತ್ತಿ ವಿಚಾರಶೀಲೋ ನಿಜಸ್ವರೂಪಂ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥಭೂತಂ. ತ್ವಗ್ಮಾಂಸ ಮೇಧೋಸ್ತಿ ಪುರೀಶರಾಶ ಅಹಂ ಮತಿಂ ಮೂಢ ಜನಃ ಕರೋತಿ ವಿಲಕ್ಷಣಂ ವೇತ್ತಿ ವಿಚಾರಶೀಲಃ ನಿಜಸ್ವರೂಪಂ ಪರಮಾರ್ಥಭೂತಂ. He says, Acharya says, aham matim moodajanah karoti. aham matim moodhajanak karoti tvagmam samedosti purisharashau aham matim moodhajanak karoti. Keywords. Moodha, here Acharya says, the common worldly people were all intelligent. Moodha means not in the literal sense the fools, as the word used in the English language. It is not in that sense. In the Vedantic sense, moodha, here the fool means, even though he is very intelligent, even though he is well read, even though he is educated, he is an ajnana. He is spiritually blind. He is not a spiritual aspirant. He is a normal person. He is a worldly person, only interested in happiness, how to procure happiness, pleasures, how to procure, acquire pleasures, money, how to acquire more money. So, such majority people in the world, in the Vedantic sense, Acharya calls them as Moodhamati. Spiritually, they are fools. So, such people think that Tvakmam samedhosti purisharashau aham matim moodajanak karoti. So, they identify, the fools identify this body with full of skin, fat, medha, asti, bones, tvak, mamsaha, skin, muscles, bones, and fat, and purisharashaho, excreta, like urine and fecal matter. This body filled with that, identify that as myself. The fools identify this physical body as their own Atma itself. Vilakshanam vitti vicharashilaha nijaswarupam paramarthabhotam. But on the other hand, vilakshanam vetti parama vicharashilaha. Vicharashilaha, vilakshanam vicharashilaha vetti, only a viveki, a real spiritual aspirant, a real sadhaka, a real mumukshu, the one who is in the spiritual sadhana by the grace of the Guru, the one who has Guru Krupa showered on him, who is doing intense sadhana, only such a vicharashila, the person with the power of discrimination, viveka, such a vicharashila, such a viveki, such a mumukshu, only he will know Nijaswarupam Paramarthabhotam. Only he will decipher that this body, whom I identify all these days as myself, is not really myself. This body is not myself. This is born, now it is living with a name and a status. Tomorrow it will die. I am not this body. Only a Viveki, by discerning, by reflection, by constant manana, by the grace of the Guru, will finally not only understand, will experience firsthand. Once he experiences firsthand, that is called realization. So he becomes a realized person by the grace of the Guru. Again, Acharya continues. Deho ahamityeva jadasya buddhi dehe cha jive vidushastva aham dhi viveka vijnanavato mahatmano brahmahamityeva matis sadatmani. Again, the same point, different sloka. The same point, different words. The same point, different verse. Devo dehoham ityeva jadasya buddhihi dehe cha jive vidushastvam aham dhihi. So a normal, spiritually blind Jadaha, Mudha will think that I means I am this body. A normal materialistic person identifies Atman as the body only. Yes. What about the scholarly person who has read some Vedanta, some scriptures, who is in a habit of telling others that he knows the Vedanta? He has a habit of giving lot of discourses on Vedanta. A person well read, Vidwan here, Acharya means well read person with the book knowledge, well read Shastraveta with the pure book knowledge minus personal experience. A person with book knowledge without personal direct experience of Paramartha. So, such a scholar, he identifies the presence of I in his own body, and also he will identify the presence of I in the Jiva also. Jiva means the Sukshma Sharira here. So a scholar will identify that I am this body and also I am the Jiva. That is the point. Dehe cha jive vidushastvaham dhi means that. But viveka vijnanavatah mahatmanah viveka vijnanavatah mahatmanah brahmaham ityeva matis sadatmani. But a person endowed with spiritual grace, person with intense sadhana, person being a uttama adhikari with lot of personal intense spiritual practice, and with the anugraha grace of the Lord or the Sadguru, only such a person is a viveka vijnanavataha mahatmanaha. He is a real Mahatma. He is a real Viveki because he is Vijnanavataha. He really understands what is Atman, what is Anatman. So he knows that I am not the body, I am the Brahma Padartha itself. Brahmaham ityeva matis sadatmani. Aham Brahmaha iti eva matihi sadatmani. Always inside is Saik, in his own antakarana, always he remembers, he has experienced that I am this Brahma Padartha. I means I am not this body. I am the real Atma Swarupa. Brahma Aham means I am the real Atma Swarupa. I am the real Brahma Padartha. I am the real Brahma Swarupa. He has realized, he has understood, he has experienced. Such a person is a Mahatma. He is a realized person. That is the point here. ಮೂರ್ಖರು ದೇಹವೇ ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಕೊನೆವರೆಗೂ ನಂಬಿದರೆ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಯಾದವನು, ವಿವೇಕಿಯಾದವನು, ವಿಚಾರಶೀಲನಾದವನು ನಾನು ಈ ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಶುದ್ಧ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅನುಭವದಿಂದ ಇರುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಅರ್ಥ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್. ಅತ್ರಾತ್ಮಬುದ್ಧಿಂ ತ್ಯಜ ಮೂಢ ಬುದ್ಧೇ ತ್ವಕ್ಮಾಂ ಸಮೇಧೋಸ್ತಿ ಪುರೀಶರಾಶೌ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮನಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪೇ ಕುರುಷ್ವ ಶಾಂತಿಂ ಪರಮಾಂ ಭಜಸ್ವ. ಅತ್ರಾತ್ಮಬುದ್ಧಿಂ ತ್ಯಜ ಮೂಢ ಬುದ್ಧೇ ತ್ವಕ್ಮಾಂ ಸಮೇಧೋಸ್ತಿ ಪುರೀಶರಾಶೌ ಸರ್ವಾತ್ಮನಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಿ ನಿರ್ವಿಕಲ್ಪೇ ಕುರುಷ್ವ ಶಾಂತಿಂ ಪರಮಾಂ ಭಜಸ್ವ. Acharya says, Atra Atma Buddhim Tyaja Moda Buddhe. He is telling the disciple with all earnestness, with the love and compassion, look, my dear stupid fool, Moda Buddhe, Atra Atma Buddhim Tyaja. So, after listening to my explanation, at least now Atra means now, at least here, in this body, physical body, give up your Atma Buddhi. Atra Atma Buddhim Tyaja Moda Buddhe. Atra means in this physical body, remove the feeling that this body is Atman. Nodappa, ಶಿಷ್ಯ ವತ್ಸ ಇನ್ನಾದ್ರೂ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳಪ್ಪ, ಈ ದೇಹಾತ್ಮ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನು ಬಿಡು. ತ್ಯಜ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅಪ್. ಫೋರ್ಸಿಬಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ತ್ಯಜ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅಪ್. ಗಿವ್ ಅಪ್ ಯುವರ್ ನೋಷನ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ. ಗಿವ್ ಅಪ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ಗಿವ್ ಅಪ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನಮಯ ಕೋಶ. ನೋ ನೋ ನೋ, you are a fool. Even if you go on considering after my repeated assurance, still if you think that no Gurudeva, no, I have understood everything, but inside I know I am this body. I experience pleasure and sorrow. Now I am middle-aged. Now I am young fellow. I am youthful fellow. No, I am a lady. No, I am a man. No, I am an old man. My body is full of pains. I am full of suffering. I am on deathbed. No, I am an old lady. See, this feeling is always there in the mind. This is what Acharya is repeatedly. Acharya, how compassionate. For people like us, Ajnanis, we are real Modamatis. We are real Modabuddhi. We are real Jada. We will never understand. That is a compassion he is showering on us. Tyaja Moda Buddhe Atra Atma Buddhim Tyaja, he says. Give up at least now onwards the feeling that you are the body. Look at the compassion. Look at the merciful. His teaching to lift all of us from this bondage of samsara. He wants us to know the reality so that you escape from this cycle of birth and death, again and again coming back, again being reborn in some family with a name, again showing all sorts of mental characters, tendencies, samskaras in that family, living, forgetting the previous births. So the cycle, this drama of rebirth, the drama of death is going on eternally. He wants us to come out of this drama of the cycle of birth and death. See, that is a point. Atra Atma Buddhim Tyaja. Tyaja, give up. What is this body? Again he says, Tvak Mamsa Medhosti Purisharashau Atra Atma Buddhim Tyaja. This is because this your body is again Tvak Mamsa Medha Asti Purisha Rashihi. Again he says, your body is nothing but the skin, the bones, the fat, blood vessels, the muscles, and excreta inside. Your body is full of filth inside your stomach and intestine in the form of fecal matter, every time being produced. Your body is full of the filth called urine every time being produced in your own body. So this body is me. Remove that feeling. You are not this body. Body is there, but you are not that body. You are different from that body. That is the point is happening. So he says again in the next two lines of the Sarvatmani Brahmane Nirvikalpe Kurushva Shantim Parama Bhajasva. Paramam Shantim Kurushva. Sarvatmani Brahmani Nirvikalpe Paramam Shantim Bhajasva Kurushva. Sarvatmani Brahmani Nirvikalpe Kurushva Shantim Paramam Bhajasva. Nirvikalpe Brahmani Sarvatmani Kurushva Paramam Shantim Bhajasva. So he says, so ultimately, You focus your mind, bring your mind onto the Brahman, onto this Atman, which never changes, which is always there. So rest your mind in this Brahma Padartha. Focus your mind, turn your mind to that Atma Padartha inside. You are that Atma Padartha. Bring your mind back to that point, which is ever existing without, it is not subjected to change at all. It has no birth and death. So ultimately, then you will enjoy the supreme bliss once you are established in Atma. Knowing that you are Atma Swarupa, establish yourself in that state all the time inside. Your body is there, your body is functioning. Your body is there, it is functioning, it is feeling sorrow, it is feeling joy, it shows the pleasure, it is doing all the karmas, it is working, it is sleeping, it is eating, it is laughing, it is weeping. All this is going on to the body. But inside, you know that you are not this drama called physical body. You are different from that. So inside there is a total calmness, total stillness. Never you swerve from the locus of Brahma Padartha. Always you know that you are the ever eternal, never changing Atma Swarupa, so that inside your mind always will be in the equilibrium state. That is not visible outside. That is why all Mahatmans say, how do we identify a Brahmajnani, a realized master? You cannot identify. There are no signs. There are no special marks on the body to identify. There is no special registered mark on the forehead. There is no special stamp on the forehead to say that he is a Brahmajnani. A Brahmajnani, a realized person, looks like any one of us. No distinction. And he remains like any other normal person. A realized person will never show, he doesn't be a part of the publicity or name and fame. He is always in his bliss mood, Atmananda Sthiti. He is beyond all the worldly pleasures and pains. He is beyond the pairs of opposites. So inside, always stabilized. Outside, he will never show. He will never proclaim that he is a Brahmajnani. See, that is a speciality. Next, Acharya continues. देहेन्द्रियादावसति भ्रमोदितां विद्वान् हन्तां न जहाति यावत् तावन्न तस्यास्ति विमुक्तिर्वार्ता अपि स्थेश वेदान्तनयान्तदर्शिः देहेन्द्रियादावसति भ्रमोदितां विद्वान् हन्तां न जहाति यावत् तावन्न तस्यास्ति विमुक्तिवार्ता अपि स्थेश वेदान्तनयान्तदर्शी. Now he says, in fact, in this verse, he is again explaining the real nature of a jnani or a realized person in an indirect way. ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಆದವನು ಹೇಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಬಹಳ ಅಪರೋಕ್ಷ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು. ದೇಹೇಂದ್ರಿಯಾದೌ ಅಸತಿ ಭ್ರಮೋದಿತಾಂ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ಹಂತಾಂ ನ ಜಹಾತಿ ಯಾವತ್. ವಿದ್ವಾನ್ ಯಾವತ್ ನ ಜಹಾತಿ ದೇಹೇಂದ್ರಿಯಾದೌ asati brahmoditam. See, as long as a scholar, a real scholar, a shastrajna who has studied the scriptures, holy scriptures, spiritual books, As long as such a scholar, with all the book knowledge gathered intellectually, who knows the subject of Vedanta very clearly, but still, if he doesn't give up the idea of wrong identifying himself with his own body, that means if he doesn't give up the idea of Dehatma Buddhi, a real scholar with all the knowledge of Vedanta, still, in other words, if he thinks that he is the body, he is the body. There is a problem with most of the scholars with book knowledge, as Acharya calls it. Our Gurudev was talking of these things number of times. Just because a person gives a wonderful discourse on Vedanta, just because a person gives a wonderful discourse on Bhagavad Gita, just because a person gives wonderful discourse on Ramcharitmanas, or just because a person with spellbound quotations explains beautifully Bhagavatam. Look, my Gurudev used to tell me, look, it doesn't mean that he is realized. They are doing for their own papi pet ka sawal. For the name and sake and money, they are being called, and in front of thousands of people assembled, he will sit like a Mahatman, and then in front of the mic, he will give a lot of discourses for hours together. It doesn't mean that he is a jnana. Our Gurudev used to say that. So, as long as a scholar, here Acharya says, as long as a scholar who knows everything, Vedanta, fingertips, if he still thinks that he is the body, he is that physical body, he is that Annamaya Kosha, there can be no release from the bondage, there can be no mukti in this life, there can be no moksha in this life, there can be no realization in this life, there can be no salvation or enlightenment in this life, however proficient he is in Vedanta. Tavat tasya asti vimuktirva, tavat na asti tasya vimuktivarta api eshaha Vedanta nayanta darshi. As long as he is identified that he is the body, there is no release from the bondage. There is no mukti at all. ಎಂತಹ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವೇತ್ತನಾದರೂ ಸಹ ಎಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಆತನಿಗೆ ದೇಹಾತ್ಮ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಇದೆಯೋ, ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಈ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದಿನ ಜನ್ಮಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Now Acharya gives a wonderful example again to convey this point. छाया शरीरे प्रतिबिंबगात्रे यत्स्वप्न देहे हृदि कल्पितांगे यथात्म बुद्धिस्तव नास्ति काचित् जीव शरीरे तथैव मास्तु. छाया शरीरे प्रतिबिंबगात्रे यत्स्वप्न देहे हृदि कल्पितांगे यथात्म बुद्धि तव नास्ति काचित् जीव शरीरे च तथैव मास्तु. Now in this he gives a wonderful example. He says, look, anybody knows that the shadow of his own body is not himself. Ordinary person. He is giving a wonderful ordinary example. Acharya says, Chaya sharire pratibimba gatre yat swapna dehe hrudi kalpitange. 4 examples. See, everyone knows that his own, the shadow of the body is not himself. Everyone knows that what reflection of his face in the mirror is not himself, it is only reflection. He knows. Everyone, isn't it? Everyone. Similarly, everyone knows he has experienced a dream. He has seen the dream while in the dream state. But after waking up, he knows that the dream was not real. Himself in the dream was not real. He knows that. Hrudikalpitange. Whatever imagination he has in his mind about himself, it's not that. This is a common point. You know that you are not the shadow. You know that shadow is from the body when the light falls on the body. You know that you are not the image of the seen in the mirror. You know that you are not the dream body or the dream sequence. You know that whatever imagination in the mind is not really you because you are flesh and blood. Correct? Same example, Acharya said. Yathatma buddhistava nasti kachit jiva sharire tathaiva ma astu. In the same way, so also do not identify yourself with your gross physical body. Just like you don't identify yourself with your shadow, with your reflection in the mirror, same way, don't identify yourself with your own gross body. Beautiful way of explanation. ಮನುಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ನೆರಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ ಇದು ನೆರಳು ನನ್ನ ನೆರಳು ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಕನ್ನಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಕನ್ನಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣೋ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿಬಿಂಬ ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಸ್ವಪ್ನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋ ದೃಶ್ಯ ಇದು ಸ್ವಪ್ನ ಶರೀರ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ದೇಹನು ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳಪ್ಪ, ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ದೇಹಾತ್ಮಧೀರೇವ ನೃಣಾಂ ಅಸದ್ಧಿಯಾಂ ಜನ್ಮಾದಿ ದುಃಖ ಪ್ರಭವಸ್ಯ ಬೀಜಂ ಯತಸ್ತತಸ್ತ್ವಂ ಜಹಿತಾಂ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಾತ್ ತ್ಯಕ್ತೆ ತು ಚಿತ್ತೇನ ಪುನರ್ಭವಾಶ. ದೇಹಾತ್ಮಧೀರೇವ ನೃಣಾಂ ಅಸದ್ಧಿಯಾಂ ಜನ್ಮಾದಿ ದುಃಖ ಪ್ರಭವಸ್ಯ ಬೀಜಂ ಯತಸ್ತತಸ್ತ್ವಂ ಜಹಿತಾಂ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಾತ್ ತ್ಯಕ್ತೆ ಚು ಚಿತ್ತೇನ ಪುನರ್ಭವಾಶ. Acharya is again saying here, for the people who think this unreal anatma, physical body as real atma, as real, this asat is thinking this asat as sat only, thinking that this unreal body as real only. What happens? It results in grief, sorrow, problems, obstacles, restlessness, mental worries, tensions from the birth to death in the life. Because of the notion that I am the body. As long as this feeling is there, I am this body, you think you are the doer and you are the sufferer. So once we identify with the body, Vedanta says, aham bhokta, aham karta. So I am the enjoyer, I am the doer. So from birth to death, there is always suffering. Always mental problems, crisis and problems, health problems, financial problems, family problems, problems in relationships, all these things. Identifying because we are the body itself. So for the people who think that I am the body, Dehatma Buddhi, problems always arise. Janmadi dukkha prabhavasya bhijam. From the birth to death, problems are always there. Yataha tatastvam jahitam prayatnat jahi. Yataha tataha tvam prayatnat jahiya. So because you, tvam, prayatnat, with all your efforts, with all the efforts and constant meditation, following the Upadesha of the Guru, sit down firmly, convince your mind, do the sadhana. Then Jahi, give up such feeling of Atma Buddhi in Deha, or Dehatma Buddhi, give up. Never think that you are the body. 24/7 have that feeling. You are not the body. Then what is it? You are that Parama Chaitanya, unexplainable. You are that supreme consciousness, pervading inside the body and outside the body. You are that Parabrahma Vastu present inside and outside. It has no name, no shape, no form. You have no name, you have no shape, you have no form, you have no gender, you have no status. This physical status of the physical body is big zero. Your real status is beyond this. A status which cannot be explained. It has no name and no form, no shape, no gender. It is beyond the time. It is timeless. It is neither born nor it will die. It is always eternal. It is always immortal. So, in the real sense, you are really immortal. What is mortal then? Your physical body, which you identify that you are. The problem is because of that. Problem is because of that. We always we are under tension, suffering, because we think that I am the body, I am the doer, I am the planner. I want to do this, I want to do that. I want this, I want that. Always I want happiness. To get the happiness, I want things, sensual objects, thinking that they give us happiness. To get all the pleasurable things, I need money. Because of money, I get all these things. So my focus is always to earn more and more and more and more money. So in the rat race, ultimately we are running and running and running. And finally, one day, the death will conquer the body and you become a nobody. Even an emperor bites the dust. Even a multi-billionaire will bite the dust. Even the poor fellow will bite the dust. No difference. From dust we have come and to dust we return. That's what I think long back, a beautiful sentence I read in the school, high school. I think Shakespeare said, from dust thou art born and to dust thou shalt return. So that is it. That's what Acharya is saying here. So, Tyaktetu chittena punarbhavasha, keyword in this last line of the verse. Tyaktetu chitte na punarbhavasha. If you remove this feeling that I am the body once for all, then punarbhavasha na punarbhavasha. No more rebirth. This will be the last birth. This will be the last physical life. Then again you are not born. You merge with Brahman. You merge with Paramatma. You join Paramatma in normal language. You don't return back. That's what Acharya said. ಈ ದೇಹಾತ್ಮ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನದಿಂದ ಬಿಡು. ಯಾವ ಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವವನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಿನಗೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಆತ್ಮ ಪದಾರ್ಥ ಅಂತ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಕೂತವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. ಅದಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಧನೆಯ ಬಲದಿಂದ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಅನುಗ್ರಹದಿಂದ ಅನುಭವಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮವಿಲ್ಲ. So he was talking about Annamaya Kosha. All these verses, Acharya was dealing with the physical body, Anatma. This is Anatma, not the Atma. You are not that. Now the next shloka, he starts about Pranamaya Kosha. You know the 5 pranas, Pancha pranas, traversing in the body. The prana shakti enters into all cells, all the tissues in the body, from the skin to the bones, to the muscles, to the brain, to nerve cells, blood vessels. Everywhere in the physical body, prana shakti traverses. The wind what we breathe in converts into prana shakti in Vedanta, Indian Vedanta. It is not simply the air. Long back, Acharya explained that. There are 5. The same Prana Shakti is in the form of 5 variants depending on the nature of its work inside the body. The Prana Shakti is completely traversing inside. ಈಗ ಪ್ರಾಣಮಯ ಕೋಶದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪಂಚ ಪ್ರಾಣಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ಪ್ರಾಣ, ಅಪಾನ, ವ್ಯಾನ, ಉದಾನ, ಸಮಾನ, all those things were told earlier. They have different aspects of their own function. So this Prana Shakti is a vital force. It connects the entire physical body. Because of the Prana Shakti, the body organs, they are functional. They act accordingly. Without the Prana Shakti, the body becomes a jada. Body becomes dead. Because of the Prana Shakti, body is alive. This Annamaya Kosha is alive because of Prana Shakti, or it is in Vedanta called as Pranamaya Kosha. So Acharya is speaking on that. Ultimately he says, even this Prana Shakti, you are not that. It is Anatma. You are not that because it is Anatma. It is not the Atma. Ultimately, that is the part. Karmendriyai panchaviranchitoyam prano bhavet pranamayasthu koshaha yenatmavanannamayo nupurnaha pravartate asau sakala kriyasu. Talking about the Prana Shakti or Pranamaya Kosha now, Acharya is commencing the verse. Karmendriyai panchaviranchitoyam prano bhavet pranamayasthu koshaha yenatmavanannamayo nupurnaha pravartate asau sakala kriyasu. So this Prana Shakti inside the physical body, traversing completely all the organs, and it is in combination with the 5 motor organs of our body, Karmendriya. It is responsible for the 5 basic Karmendriyas, organs of function, organs of action, to function properly. See, your body has got 5 major organs. Organ of speech, mouth, so we communicate. The hand, we hold and do all the actions by hands. The feet, walking, sitting, and then running, we do it by the help of the feet, Karmendriya. And excretory organs, the kidney, urinary bladder will throw out the urine. And genitals, genital organ, it throws out the semen. Reproductive, the fluid during copulation by the Jananendriya. So these functions are controlled by Prana Shakti only. Without Prana Shakti, the organs, motor organs, organs of the action cannot do any work. So that's what he says. So this Annamaya Kosha, this body is filled with this Prana Shakti. And asau sakala kriyasu pravartate. All your actions are done by this Prana Shakti. All the physical actions of the body is done by this Prana Shakti. It is responsible for all your actions, physical actions of the body. Body here, Annamaya Kosha. Please remember, Annamaya Kosha, Annamaya Kosha, Annamaya Kosha means physical body. Pranamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha means your Prana Shakti inside. The vital breath. When the air enters into our nose, from the nose it enters into our lungs, there the air is called inside as prana, not the air or the wind. The Vedanta uses the word prana. It's a vital force. This vital force is responsible for all your actions. So normally everyone says when the prana goes away, the person dies. No respiration. We are aspiring means Prana Shakti, the wind is going in and coming out. So the Prana Shakti is being profusely present. It's coming in, going out, coming in, going out, traversing in the whole body. When the respiration stops, we say the prana has gone out. Final breath has gone out. The person is dead. No more. So, ದೇಹದ ಸಕಲ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಈ ಸ್ಥೂಲ ಶರೀರದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಣಶಕ್ತಿ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ. ಪ್ರಾಣಶಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಕಲ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳು ನೆರವೇರುತ್ತವೆ. This is what the Acharya is meaning here in this shloka. So, however, we have to remember how merciful such a great Shiva Swarupa, Sakshat Dakshinamurti Swarupa, Sri Shankara Bhagavad Pada is conveying in his magnum opus called Viveka Chudamani the entire secrets of the entire Upanishads, so that people like us who are real ajnanis, who are real mudhas, who are real mudamatis, at least to know, which we can't understand by ourselves, the reality of life. So he is bringing all the examples to hammer the point, the real Vedanta, the supreme Vedanta into our mind. He is repeatedly telling, look, from timeless, immemorial number of previous birth, you have identified that you are the so-and-so, you are the body, you are the man, you are the woman. It is not like that. Once you permanently give up this attachment to the body, that is the nearest, highest step towards realization. Then, in a flash, by the grace of the Guru or the God, realization will happen by itself. Your mind becomes totally pure and it opens up itself to the highest truth, highest divinity to descend inside. Till then it becomes something like a mumbo jumbo, word of jumbling. Very difficult to understand. We are only struck with awe. We are amazed. We are mesmerized. What a jnani is talking here. We don't know whether he is talking truth or not. These are the questions sometimes sprout here in the mind. I remember Gurudev was talking on this while in a Scientist's Search for Truth book also it is there. When I was translating that book into vernacular Kannada language, when the point came, he explained the same point. He said, our beloved Gurudev told me in person that when his Guru, Swami Vidyananda Saraswati of Rishikesh, when he was teaching Bhagavad Gita to select a few Uttama Adhikaris who are in the spiritual sadhana, our Gurudev also was sitting. He used to sit there. So, when our Parama Guru, Swami Vidyananda, was explaining about a particular shloka in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, our Gurudev was telling me, so I remember it. Otherwise, my photographic memory is not there. I cannot remember offhand what shloka, what verse. I remember Gurudev was telling me that in the second chapter, 29th shloka, 229, I remember like that. When Vidyananda Saraswati Maharaj was explaining the 29th shloka of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, our Gurudev starts telling me like this. My Guru recited the shloka and looked at all of us, and he looked at me intensively, with a smile on his face, with a sort of a question in his eye. He was asking me silently whether really I am understanding this profound truth spoken by the Lord Krishna to Arjuna. 29th shloka of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. My Guru was looking at me while reciting the shloka with a smile on his face, and his eyes were really mischievous. And at that moment, by his grace, I understood what he really meant. At that moment, I understood with his grace what he really meant. My Guru was explaining to me in simple Hindi the meaning of the shloka. The shloka was Ascharyavat Paschati Kashchitenam Ascharyavat Paschati Kashchidenam Ascharyavat Vadati Tathaiva Chanyah Ascharyavat Vadati Tathaiva Chanyah Ascharyavat Chainamanyah Shrunoti Shrutvapenam Vedat Na Chaiva Kaschit Shrutvapenam Na Veda Chaiva Kaschit. That is a shloka. Please go through that shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, 29th shloka of the second chapter. You will understand. I cannot recollect completely because my memory fails. So the point was, our Gurudev said, my Guru was explaining this shloka. A real Mahatman, when he realizes the self, when he realizes the Atma Sarupa, when the dawn of jnana occurs, he becomes baffled. Ashcharivat pashyati. The jnani, at a flash of the jnana, at that moment of jnana flashing, he is totally baffled, totally struck with awe, totally mesmerized, totally he is dumbless. Ashcharivat pashyati. Kaschit. Enam. When he sees the Atma, when he becomes Atma Sarupa, when he realizes that he is the Atman, he is baffled. And very few Atmavan, very few realized persons will come out and then explain that experience to their disciples with great wonder. And the disciples sitting in front of such a person, they also become highly awestruck, baffled. They wonder what Guru is telling to us. Is it really so or not? They wonder whether the Guru really knows or simply talking. So it is a wonder that the Guru has realized. It is a wonder still that he is explaining about the reality. It is still a wonder for the person to sit and listen. It is another great wonder. So it's all wonder of wonders. That is how the shloka is there. Our Gurudev is explaining. So it is very difficult to explain the reality. That is a point. So with Guru Sankalpa, with a short bhajan, discourse, I'll stop here. Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwara.